This is my fully electric 2021 Kia Niro, and over the next few weeks I'll be driving it on a full lap of Australia, passing through some very remote places. The charging won't always be easy, but it should be one incredible journey.
Oh my god! The flies are absolutely horrendous this morning. I've swallowed 2 just packing up, and they're all through the car and everything. And there's also red dust all through the car. The charging overnight went very well. We're actually up to 86% with 290 kilometers of estimated range. But I still want to visit this charger that's only 7 kilometers north, because I think that's pretty cool. So I probably won't actually... I might plug in briefly, but I obviously won't be charging very much there. I've had a look at the maps. I think I'm about 900, maybe 1,000 kilometers away from Broome. So probably won't make Broome today, but certainly by tomorrow should be in Broome. I've been to Broome once before, so it's sort of my reference point of knowing where I am once I get there. But I flew there when I went to Broome the previous time. But I quite liked Broome, so it'll be nice to see it again. And it will really feel like I'm making progress once I get to Broome. Although it'll still be quite a long way to go. But that's all good. Just driving out the gate now. I don't imagine I need to go into reception for anything. There's a bird buying fuel. Just normal things. One of those big peacock things wandering around the fuel pumps. The wildlife here is certainly different. Off we go. Yes, so I could turn off to Exmouth and Coral Bay and everything, but I think that would be a bit of a repeat of yesterday. I wouldn't really get much distance covered, and I imagine it's all actually fairly similar. But I believe the charger is sort of right at the turn off here. There's kind of someone right there. I think I might just skip it, but that's it there. Standing out all on its own, with its own solar and battery and I guess diesel backup system. Nanutara is 220 kilometers away, and I have 281 kilometers of range on the car. I'm pretty sure Nanutara Roadhouse has a charger, so I think I'll just be heading there. And I guess I'll see you in about 2 hours' time then. "33 minutes into the drive, I stopped at this random rest stop to fly the drone over some very tall anthills. They looked pretty cool. But I'm glad I stopped here, because when I did, I happened to glance at my phone and I discovered I'm something like 7 minutes from the Tropic of Capricorn, which will mean we are officially in the tropics then. I assumed this would loop out to the highway, but it doesn't. It's just gone deeper into a campsite with toilets and stuff. officially in the tropics, which is very good. Thanks for that. But we are in the tropics. Okay. I will see you at the Minilya Roadhouse now. It says 0 of the charges are available, which is concerning me, but I think it's a bug. Now 10 minutes from Minilya Roadhouse. It's been incredible scenery, mountains, red dirt, different plants. About, I want to say maybe 50 kilometres ago, the estimated range on the car just started to take a nosedive, and the efficiency got a bit worse. So there was still a buffer, but the buffer was getting increasingly smaller. So I've turned the fan speed on the air conditioner down to 1 and increased the temperature by 1 degree. It's not really that noticeable because I'm moving so fast, so there's sort of wind blowing in, but it is 35 degrees outside. And I've also dropped the speed from 110 to 100. And I don't want to be sort of slowly holding people up, but no one's actually come up behind me yet, so it hasn't been an issue. So the efficiency's improved a little bit, and we should make it there quite alright now. 48 kilometres of estimated range and 12 kilometres to go. But if I pull up the state of charge, we're on 16%. So we should be fine though. And I am still slightly concerned about Minilya Roadhouse saying it's unavailable. But I'm really hoping, because I had that weird thing, I can't remember what it is, but it was some charger yesterday. I just activated it with the RFID card and it was all good. But then I tried to look in the app, and the app showed someone had been charging for like 10 hours or something. And it didn't show that I was charging or anything like that. So I think maybe sometimes the connections just sort of freeze and it doesn't report properly. So I'm hoping I can still just activate it with the RFID card and be all good. If not, there is also the backup level 2 AC charger there, and that would probably take me all day. Considering how flat the car is now, it'll probably take me about all day to get enough charge to move on from this roadhouse, because I think we're quite remote now, but that is a backup option if absolutely necessary. I've done 220 kilometres so far today with an average efficiency of 20.8 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres. It was 20.4 for most of the day this morning. Then it spiked to like 21.7 or something. And with the lower air conditioner and the lower speed, I've managed to get that reasonably back down. So I'm not sure. There's been a lot of sort of up and down hills. It might be some elevation change, or it might be these crosswinds, or it might be that the temperature's just gone up to 36, so the air conditioner might have been working pretty hard. But it doesn't feel too bad in here, so that's quite alright. And there's several signs for floodways, because I guess we are now in the tropics. But I haven't seen much water around. But I would say it's now more lush and green than it was an hour or two ago. So I guess there's some signs of that. It is the end of the wet season up here, so I would expect it to be fairly wet. But I don't think there's any rain planned today. I'm actually going to put the speed back to 110 because we're so close. 40 kilometres of estimated range, 5.9 to go, so we're going to actually make it there comfortably. It was just getting a bit scary for a while because I don't think I've seen a single building since I left this morning. So there really weren't other options. Yes, here we go, Nanyutara 5, next service 265. So I think we will need quite a charge here. There's actually some water in this river. I've seen a lot of dry riverbeds crossing bridges. That's not particularly high, but there is water in it. There is the charger. Now the next scary moment. Seeing if I can actually plug in. And there's been no check-ins on PlugShare since like the 28th of January. They were positive back then, but that's over a month ago. The charger screen and everything looks perfectly fine. So I reckon I'll just plug in with my RFID card and it'll all work. Kilowatt, it says available. Trip over the cable, why not? Communicating with vehicle. Tap. Successful. Oh yeah, that's a relief. When you hear those clicks, you know it's actually trying to do something. It's whirring. We don't have state of charge on the car yet, but on the Tritium yesterday it took a little bit longer to get that. There we go, 12%, and we've got power going in. 7 kilowatt, 9. It's a slow ramp because we're off grid once again, but it's ramping up all good. So that's a relief. Still not doing great speeds, but yeah, there we go, 19. It's still slowly ramping. 21. But I will go into the Roadhouse, and I think I'll have to check PlugShare and everything, but I think it's going to be quite a deep charge here to make it to the next one. And it's only 30 kilowatts now. It's meant to get up to 50. I'm guessing it'll sit on 48 once it ramps up, like the Overlander Roadhouse. But yeah, so I could be here a while, but I want to check out the solar panels that are powering it, and I first want to go into the Roadhouse, and I'll leave the air conditioning on in the car because it's 36 degrees. Great to see here. Huge solar array. It's hard to get the camera to focus properly because of the fence. There it is there. Can't go beyond that point. And then the charger is over there. I'm not sure exactly how the electrical system here works, whether that's solar for the Roadhouse and the charger ties into it, or whether it's specifically for the charger like is done sometimes. But I would imagine it would make more sense that the Roadhouse uses the solar power all the time, because there's not always someone charging here, so might as well make the most of it. We're in middle of nowhere here, but charger's doing its thing. It sat on 43 kilowatts, so not quite full speed, and then it just ramped down fairly recently, but it was on 43 kilowatts for most of the time. We've been here quite a while. I charged up probably more than necessary, but that's fine, and it's been quite a long charging stop, but I haven't minded it actually. It's been quite good to just sit around in the cool and take care of a few things. Looking at the charger options going forward, we are currently at Nanyutara Roadhouse, and we're working our way up this main highway here. I was also considering going to Marble Bar, which is over here, so I don't have to make that decision yet, but I think I'm going to skip Marble Bar. Marble Bar is meant to be the hottest town in Australia, so I thought it would be cool, not cool, but cool, not actually cold, but cool, to go to Marble Bar. But it is a bit out of the way, and I think I've kind of felt enough heat. I'll probably just get to that town and go, yep, that's horrible too. So I probably won't do Marble Bar. But anyway, I'm going up this highway here. There is apparently a charger here at the Ampol Fortescue River Roadhouse. The roadhouse is temporarily closed. The charger still shows available, but I'm a little bit concerned if the roadhouse is closed, is the charger still available? Although it looks closed in this picture as well, from the 29th of November last year, and it looks like this person's using it fine. So I'm guessing it has its own power set up and it's still working fine. So I can very easily make it there now. That's only 136 kilometres away, and I now have 274 kilometres of estimated range, and that was plummeting coming in here, so I imagine this is fairly pessimistic estimated range showing. Fly in here. The flies have been bad as well today. But I'm slightly concerned about that. It means you have no services at the roadhouse, but that's fine. I'm fairly self-contained in the car. I've got some food and water left. The other option would be to push all the way to Karratha, which is an actual town with a charger in it, so I'd feel more comfortable going there. But it is 243 kilometres away, so I actually do have enough, theoretically. 272 actually. It was 243 as the crow flies. I don't like the way PlugShare does that, but I guess they're expecting you to be closer to the charger than you actually are, than I usually am. So 272, we have 277 now. In theory, I could wait a bit longer here and have enough to comfortably make Karratha, but I think I'll unplug now and stop at Fortescue River Roadhouse because it looks like it's still working, and maybe I'll just do a brief top up there and then move on to Karratha. Would make the most sense. And then I imagine it would be on to Port Hedland, and then I could almost make Broome if I really keep moving, but it is 11:16 now. We shouldn't get ahead of ourselves. It's 2 hours 51 minutes drive to Karratha. Bit of a stop at Fortescue River Roadhouse on the way. Like 3 hours something, so 11, 12, 1, 2, it's 11:16 now, so 11:20. That's 2:30 by the time I get to Karratha, so then I've probably only got one stretch left for the day, but we should definitely make Broome tomorrow. So really, I think it's all going quite well. I should definitely unplug from here and head off. But yeah, the solar panel system that I have a view of from the windscreen is great to see. I'm not sure if there's a generator running alongside it or if they just start the generator sometimes if they need it. I'm assuming there's a decent battery setup. And yeah, as I said before, I'm not sure if this is just for the charger or for the whole roadhouse, but at least they're trying to do something other than diesel generators, which is excellent. And this charger, despite being a bit slow, does seem to be working perfectly, which is also great and really vital. Without this charger, I couldn't have made this stretch. I would have had to do a powered side at the roadhouse here, so I'm glad it's here. But I should stop rambling and unplug the car. Flies. Fly number 3 for the day. Don't need to bring food here. I'm now 7 minutes away from the closed down Fortescue River Roadhouse, but I'm holding out hope that the charger's still working. I still have 128 kilometres of range, so I think I could probably stretch it beyond to Karratha if I had to. I already passed a sign saying I'm in the city of Karratha, and that was a while ago, so the city of Karratha isn't too city-ish. But yeah, I don't think this charger's make or break, but I'd rather top up a bit there. The car's currently showing 41 degrees. It's showing as high as 42, so I think that's more accurate. I think maybe the 38, 36 I think it was showing before must have been in the shade. I've been quite hot, but the air conditioner's on full blast and I've sort of just cooled down now. And the scenery's gotten more green, I guess because we're further north in the tropics and it's been the wet season, so it's quite green now. The scenery really changes quite a lot. It's quite interesting. But anyway, only 6 more minutes to go. Don't think there's much else to say other than that. Past a few mines, a few dry riverbeds, 1 or 2 with actual water in it. Fortescue 5, next service 95. So yes, I could make it to next service. I'm assuming next service is Karratha, so it's really no massive stress if this doesn't work. I mean, it would be a bit tight range-wise, but I do have more than enough to get there. I just want to be a little bit conservative and probably be stressing a little bit. But I'm not stressed now about whether or not this will work, because I know I can make it work if this charger doesn't work. I can see the charger. Is the charger still alive? I do not know. There is a truck here. I guess he's just taking a break. Because apart from that... Oh, there's a light on there. Yeah, there's some lights on, so I guess the whole power system's still running. And the charger is perfectly lit up. Don't know what that truck's doing. I think we're all good. Didn't wait for it to start because it's unpleasant out there. But I heard clicks. Yep, there we go. Charging at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13... Stuck on 13, there we go, 15. It's a very slow ramp once again, 17. But I really don't need much power at all here. I'm glad I stopped here, really. It's actually been great. There's hardly anyone around, but there's good charger, well, decent charger. It's charging faster than Minilya Roadhouse, so that's all good. I was able to fly the drone around and capture some pretty great scenery while charging the car, so I'm not really wasting any time there. I know I had a bit of lunch that I brought with me, obviously, and now I will unplug and head on to Karratha. It's on 69%, charging at 48 kilowatts still. So still holding full power for as far as what the charger can deliver, but Karratha has a faster charger and I might want to walk around there a little bit, so it doesn't really make sense to stay here any longer than I have, but I'm glad I have the extra. Oh, everything just doesn't do its normal thing in this heat. Like just touching the charger cables. The cable's so hot, and I'm sure they normally get warm with high powered charging, but it's all just really hot. I mount my phone to the top of the drone controller so I can see what the drone's doing when that's flying, and then my phone starts to overheat, and now my phone's all stuttery because it's too hot, but it's back in the air-conditioned car now, so Hopefully it'll cool down. And I think I figured out what the story is with this place since I flew the drone. It looks like there's still sort of like mining, I don't know what to call them, but like cabins that the people working in the mines would live in or stay in while they're working here. So despite the roadhouse not actually being open for business, there's still power being generated to power all their houses and everything, and there's people sort of on site, so that's why there's power on and why the charger's still working. Fortescue River. This is pretty nice, actually. Fortescue River. Sorry, I'm just getting distracted again. But yes, because I even discovered the public toilets on the side of the roadhouse are still open, and they still have lights on and seem to be being cleaned and everything, so I was a bit confused who's doing that, but yeah, I think it's all sort of part of some mine somewhere. Fortescue is a mining company, so maybe they're involved in the Fortescue River Roadhouse. But yeah, I'm glad some of it's still usable, even if the roadhouse is shut. And I guess I will talk to you when I get to Karratha in 1 hour and 7 minutes time. We're sort of in town now. There's like suburbia on one side of me, but there's still these big mossy green sort of rock formations on the other side. Red, I don't know about mossy, but like that's sort of what they look like. They look like the red outback dirt mounds went mouldy, kind of. I still don't see the charger. Oh, there it is. And that was kind of wrong. Seems to be really just in a McDonald's car park, but that's fine. I will go and plug in. There we go. That took 3 attempts. First time it was just like the standard finish charging. Actually, I think it might have even said, yeah, it wasn't even that message. It was a failed to charge. Then the second time it was hold plug steady. I've had that a few times. It never turns out to be actually anything with the plug. You just have to unplug and plug in again. And then the third time it worked perfectly fine. And it's now ramped up to 65 kilowatts. So that's really annoying, but it works fine now. So it's never a big deal. You just have to keep trying. But it's a bit annoying and scary if you don't know that that's going to happen. But anyway, I don't think we really need to charge very much here. The car's on 38% already from the last charger and doing 66 kilowatts. But I'll find a toilet maybe first. See if there's anything around as far as water bottle filling or anything. It's a bit hot to really walk anywhere, but I'll have a look and then I'll pull out the maps and see where I'm heading next. Well, it's 38 degrees. I went with the laziest option. McDonald's bag. It's not actually very clear. But yeah, that's the nearest building. I went in there and used their toilets and then bought lunch there. Oh, 3:18, I bought afternoon tea there. So the car's up to 79% now,
The speed's ramped down to 27 kilowatts, so it's definitely time to move on. The next stop will be Whim Creek Hotel. By the looks of it, it's another roadhouse, so we'll go and check that out. That is actually only 123 kilometers away, and the car is estimating 254 kilometers of range, but I was still eating lunch, so it took a little bit longer. Whim Creek Hotel, is that what it's called? All the names just start to blur together after a while, but I think that's where I'm headed. It's only 4.5 kilometres away. I still have 132 kilometres of range, 43% state of charge, but I'll plug in there for a bit because I think it's a fair bit further to Port Hedland. It's another one of the WA EV network off-grid chargers, so I'm guessing sort of tied into the whatever's there. I'm not sure if it's even a roadhouse. There were signs saying like no services for this place, so like you can't get petrol here, so I'm not really sure what it is. It sounds like it's a hotel, but that seems a bit weird to have just a hotel in the middle of nowhere. So I guess it's either getting power from whatever building is here, or it's just got its completely own solar battery hybrid power setup. Whim Creek Pub. A must. Yes, I think it's a pub with a charger right here. Okay, nice setting. Looks like it's completely got its own power setup here. Whoo! Communicating with vehicle. It's taking it a while to communicate with vehicle. This isn't great. Oh, the car air conditioner just shut off, so that might mean something. Oh, it's hot. Ew. What's the car doing? DC charging stopped. Please check charger. Yeah, I think I just have to unplug. Plug. Successful, that's better. No? I don't know, maybe I'll try the other plug. That way I'll properly turn the car back on. We'll try that. We get this successful message and then it seems to get stuck on communicating with vehicle. I don't think that's going to work. Don't have any weird messages yet, but we do have this battery icon, which typically means the high voltage battery's turned off. Oh no. Try turning the car off. It's been on for a while, maybe it's a car thing. That's just stuck.
looking good. Aha! That sounds very good. So this is very weird, but we're now charging. What I've been doing with my ChargeFox RFID card is I'll plug the car in. It says communicating with vehicle, it communicates with vehicle, then it says tap card to authenticate, I tap card. This time it got stuck on communicating with vehicle, never even asked me to tap the card, so I assumed the card wasn't the issue. But what I did is I pulled out the ChargeFox app, plugged the car in, and then the start button immediately appeared in the app. I hit start, and it's actually started the charging. It's only at 30 kilowatts, 32 now, so it's ramping up slowly, but it is now charging. And I'm going to turn the car back on to get the air conditioner going again now that the charging's working. So it seems to almost always end up perfectly fine in the end, but you do need to do a bit of troubleshooting. And I've spent sort of most of my life fiddling with tech and fixing weird little problems and things, so I'm used to this sort of stuff, but it's still difficult. They need to improve some of this. But anyway, at least I am charging, and the lesson really is, even if it doesn't work the first few times, just sort of try slightly different things. There's still a good chance you'll actually be able to charge. I'm not sure how much I'm going to need to charge here, but it's at 48 kilowatts now. Might have a look a bit at the power system, and we're on 43%, and I'll see how it's all going. Standalone power system. So with the others I wasn't sure if it was taking power from a roadhouse or something and sort of tied in with some solar, but here there is a pub down there, but I'm pretty sure this is just completely self-sufficient. So there's the charger, here's its power system. As you can see, very large solar array, getting pretty good sun. Looks quite good there. I'm just thinking I should probably be mindful of snakes and stuff. Here is the solar array. Solar panels. And we have the inverters on the end here. So I think it's one inverter for each of the rows of panels. Yes, it is. So I've got two inverters there. Here is, unfortunately, a diesel generator, but fortunately it is only a backup one, which I think is probably a good idea because you don't want to be stranded out here if there's just not enough solar production. And as you can hear, that's not running right now, and it's fairly late in the day, so as long as there's decent solar going on, that doesn't need to be running, which is great. And then I'm assuming this building houses some rather large batteries. It's even got an air conditioner here, so I guess that has to be cooled at times. But yeah, I imagine the batteries are in there, because that solar array might not, this late in the day, I have solar panels at home and stuff, I know later in the day the production does start to drop off, even though it's still sunny and you think, oh, it should still be producing. It does drop off. And my car is currently getting 49.6 kilowatts without the help of the generator. So I'm fairly sure this is some battery power from solar that was generated earlier in the day. So I'm sure there's batteries here as well. But that means I'm getting a good charge without the generator running. So this is probably cleaner power going into the car than when I was charging in Karratha, or even sometimes if you're charging in Melbourne and stuff. So I think that's a really great system. And down here is the Whim Creek Hotel. I think it's just a pub, but that is there. And it's actually sitting in really quite lovely surrounds. It is now 5:38 p.m. and I am in the middle of nowhere. Port Hedland is just over an hour's drive away, so that's kind of the most logical place for me to stop for the night. Unfortunately, I've done a lot of looking around and all the campground sort of places are closed now, so it was getting a bit difficult. I ended up on booking.com and booked the cheapest thing that I could still book for tonight, which is a $173 hotel room, but it does look pretty nice, so I guess I'll just have a nice night, and I guess that's the price you pay for leaving things too late in the night. I'll have to be a bit better in the future, but 91% now, and we should get there a bit after 6 if I unplug and go straight over there, so I think I'd better unplug pretty soon and head off. And I guess I'll just have a night of luxury. Didn't need my card for that. Interesting. Didn't let go of the car. Yep, did. Okay, just a bit stiff. Off we go. As quickly as we can. Unfortunately, it means I won't get any overnight charging, but I'm pretty full now, so it's probably all right. Hopefully, I will update you when I get to the hotel and get in and everything's all good. I'm driving into Port Hedland now, 13 minutes from the hotel. It looks rather large. I think there's a lot of mining trains going in and out, so I guess it's a fairly sort of mining-based city or town. But it looks quite nice actually, with everything all sort of lit up. I would have probably preferred a powered campsite somewhere, but I just ran out of time and didn't plan well enough. The odometer on the car has just hit 75,004 kilometres, and technically this car is meant to have a service in after 75,000 kilometres, so at that amount of kilometres on the official schedule. Because I was a bit late with my last service, mine isn't actually meant to be serviced until 76,000 kilometres. But as you can tell, I'm way more than 1,000 kilometres from home, so it is actually going to go way over its service interval, which is not ideal, but I couldn't really do much about that. And in total today, we've done 733 kilometres with an average efficiency of 20.7 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres. So not too bad of a day. I would have actually liked it to be a bit more than that, but the day's just gotten away, really. And unlike yesterday, that's probably 720 or so of actual distance covered of productive driving. I'm not sure if I even detoured off at all, other than like pulling off the road at times. That's a big train sitting there on train tracks. All you can see is all the cart things, carriages that carry the, I'm assuming, mining stuff. And then here's the 2 diesel engine things that pull it. I don't know the train terminology at all, as you can probably tell, but that's all fairly interesting. So I am doing a bit of night driving now, but it's very much next one, sort of city suburban driving, so it's not really a problem. It's a bit harder to find my way, but there's street lights and not really much wildlife around. This looks like a building. A fairly open building. Well, I'm not sure. For some reason, based on the price and the pictures and the name and everything, I was expecting a hotel where you have to like walk upstairs and go through the room. It's actually a pretty standard motel, so I was able to park the car right in front of the room, which that at least make things easier, because I have to bring a lot of SD cards to and from to shuffle all the footage and everything from the day. So I sort of do a bit of work with the car with all the cameras in the evenings. So it's good that it's right here. It is a fairly basic motel room, but it will do just fine. The beds look quite nice. And there's continental breakfast from 7 a.m. tomorrow. So I might be a bit delayed in getting out, but breakfast will be nice because I actually ran out of cereal. And yeah, there is also a rather nice pool area, but I don't think I'll be using that. And there's also meant to be a guest laundry, which there is, but someone's very much using it. They've got all the machines going, there's bags out the front. I'm not sure if it's someone who works here doing linen for the day or something, but I'm not sure I could use that. But I only have 2 clean shirts left or something, so it would have actually been nice to use it. But anyway, I'll have to do it at some other point. But I think that's it for the day, and I will see you tomorrow in the next video.